Are you really saying what you want to say? What do you even mean? The podcast today, we explore the reason why the words you are saying might not be landing the way you intend for them to. From fear to past experiences, we will uncover the roadblocks that keep us from expressing and communicating the right way with our partner. We'll also uncover why it can be so hard to say what's really on our minds. And don't worry, we've got practical tips to help you break free. Let's get into it. Stay tuned. Welcome, everyone, to the Home to Haven podcast. You have found your home for faith-filled content that helps you communicate with your partner. Welcome again to the podcast. We are the Turners. I'm Terrell. That's my wife, Jen. And we are so excited and delighted. I was going to say frighted, but it's not.
Yeah, we're not frighted. We're delighted and excited
that you are here. If you get anything from the content today, whenever you feel something good, just do the thumbs up. Right when you're like, oh, that's good, thumbs up.
Click us.
Click. And subscribe so you don't miss any of the amazing content that comes your way. Speaking of content, have you checked out our new travel playlist? The travel playlist is our separate playlist, but on the same channel. That's right. Amazing stuff where we talk about it, but we got to be about it. So that's where we literally do all of our family activities, date nights, and whatever else we got going on. So you can see how we navigate life and all we do.
Yeah, it's all the fun stuff, and you get to see a little bit behind the scenes of just how we're living, what we're doing, how we're navigating
what we're doing.
Kids.
Getting Southern on me now.
I know. I have noticed I've got a little Southern words that I use.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I say y'all a lot now. Even, at work, be y'all into this or whatever. So I do use y'all. I've been down south for a while now. Yeah. But yes, our travel channel is fun. You'll see some trips that we've taken, date nights as we explore and try new things, which are the best date nights. If you've heard that episode, that's super fun. And just some family things that we do. Keep it real, see real life, see how we deal with things. That's
right. So again, subscribe to the channel because when those videos post, you get notified. And so maybe you want to join just for that stuff, or actually, hopefully you enjoy this content as well with communication tips for your partner. I'll put some links below where you can check out an Alaska trip or our, what was the thing you said?
The date nights?
Yeah.
We did splatter date.
We'll do the splatter date. That'll be below as well.
That was
a fun
super
one.
Fun, yeah.
So check that out because it's a great thing. But watch the video first, then go check it out.
Yeah, next video. You got something next to watch.
Or it'll be on the end screen at the end of the video. So
enough
of that.
Keep watching.
Yeah, keep watching.
Keep watching.
You ain't saying what you saying.
You ain't saying what you really mean.
Or what you're saying.
Yeah. So
sometimes you're saying, you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Does the person know what they're talking about?
Nope.
So many times, like you said, people aren't saying what they really mean.
They're not saying what they really mean. And so I touched a little bit on this in the last episode, episode 73. But, what are people trying to say? There is no perfect human being. Shocker. No one has it all together as much as you like think you do.
Not you.
I'm this, I'm that. No, actually we're not.
Right.
And so we're all growing. Amen. And there is no Yoda of communication.
Right. Or we've reached the peak and now we've arrived.
Yeah,
and
I'm the master communicator.
We got it.
I got it.
We're good. Yeah. Everything we communicate is going to be perfect from now on.
And so the point of that statement is, so because of even those who are like you, who are actively listening and growing in your communication, you're investing in this podcast, you listen to it. And so think about those who don't, right? So when you're dealing with people and trying to talk with, if it's a spouse, a family member, and they're saying things, what are they trying to say? Instead of you getting reactionary.
Right.
And then why'd you say it this way? They yell at me. What are they trying to communicate? They may not have said it correctly, may have come out wrong, may have said it at the wrong time, wrong tone, but when you get by yourself and reflect, what is it that they're trying to communicate? And that's the message you need to go for.
That's the message we're looking for. We're listening for understanding.
Yes.
Ultimately. But there are 3 main reasons why people are not saying what they really mean.
Go for it.
You want to start with number 1? So number 1 is that they just don't know how. So they don't have the skills.
And that is the main reason. The number 1 reason is because they don't know how.
Right.
You can't do what you don't know.
Right. And they may think that they know. So they think they're communicating.
Right.
But it's not effective or it's not landing with the person correctly.
Right.
So
the example we give a lot is, well, from ladies, well, he shouldn't know what I mean, or he shouldn't know we've been together long enough, or, I shouldn't have to repeat myself. Yep. Well, maybe you do.
Yeah. Right. Maybe
so we don't get frustrated. I just said it last time.
Right.
I'm guilty of that. I don't like repeating myself, but guess what? Maybe I need to repeat myself to make it clear. And that's okay.
Maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need assurance in that moment that that's what you did say, or that's what you needed to hear. So the first reason is that they just don't know how. Again, there's going to be multiple reasons that could be the issue.
Yep.
People may have difficulty expressing certain emotions. And so they don't know, how to get across that they're upset or they're sad about something. Sometimes people have low self-esteem, so it's hard for them to communicate or get across and have that confidence.
Yeah. So go back to that where they don't know how. So I've dealt with this where an individual does not know how to cope or to react to in a certain way.
Right.
So their response is anger. Okay. They don't like to see their loved ones in pain or attacked
struggling,
or struggle. Right.
Right.
So when they can't help, they get angry.
Right.
Not at the person. They're not mad at the person they love. They're just angry because there's nothing they can do about it.
Right.
Right. And so I've had to help this client through this because, they were getting hurt.
They were receiving anger, angry communication.
Right. Angry communication. I'm like, hey, here's what they're trying to say.
Right.
Okay. I know it's not the proper way.
Correct.
But they're trying to say this.
Right.
And their response to how you are dealing with this situation and it's hurting you, they can't do anything about it. They're helpless in this particular point because there's nothing anyone can do.
Right.
So they're angry at that. They're not angry at you. They're angry
at the situation.
At the situation.
And they don't know how to communicate.
So understand that. That's what we're here for, to give you that everyone does not know how to respond to
certain situations, right? A lot of times unexpected situations, like you said, can bring that out. And so they just don't know how to communicate. And so that's number 1 is they just don't know how. Right. So what can they do, or what can you do when you're dealing with that situation? Like you said, if you're on the receiving end, you can really take that into consideration and really think through, okay, let's put aside those angry emotions, or let's look a little deeper, a little beyond the surface level of what are they really trying to communicate. Or maybe it's time to ask clarifying questions and go back and forth. Okay, when you're saying this to me, does that mean this or does that mean that?
And it might not even get that point. It might be a point where you can't have that conversation. So you just have to know, okay, I recognize and understand they're not mad at me. They're not angry at me. And so I'm not going to take this personal.
Right.
I'm not going to get defensive. I'm not going to respond because I'm not the target. Let that missile go hit somebody else.
Right.
You're
right.
you're not in the shot path.
And then also, if you don't know how and your partner is in a position where you're both on the same page of, okay, we're going to work through these communication issues that we have, that situation, you just need to practice. You need to practice those effective communication skills and work through it together and really start learning back and forth how to communicate. So if you don't know how, sometimes all it takes is a little bit of practice with somebody that's willing to practice with you.
I would say even in there, not sometimes, you always want to practice communication. And especially you want to practice before or talk through or work through your words. If it's a big conversation you need to have, if it's a big subject, if it's a touchy subject, hey, let me run through what I need to say, make bullet points, come with an outline.
Yeah.
What's all those paperwork? This is for me. It's not for you.
Okay.
It's for me. Right. So that you have exactly what you want to say. You cover all your bases. And it might be you run through like a speech. You run through this conversation. You play back or prepare for potential answers. If you are apprehensive, sometimes you don't communicate what you want to say because you have fear, fear of response, fear of rejection. And so you want to prepare for that, practice that, think of different scenarios. Or if they respond this way, I'll say this. If they don't respond this way, then maybe I'll say that, because it may take you a little bit longer to process. Everyone doesn't respond quickly or can fire right back.
Right.
May take your computer data a little bit longer to get things together. And guess what? That's okay.
100%. That's a good tip, to actually write things down. You may be somebody that processes better in written communication. I know that helps me sometimes, just to map things out. And like you said, in the moment, I may not remember all those things that I had initially planned to communicate. So that's a really great tip. And that actually leads us to number 2 of why people aren't saying what they really mean. And that's because they're afraid. So they have that fear, that underlying fear to say what they really mean, or to actually say what they believe, because of different reasons. So they have that fear.
Yeah. Fear of rejection, fear of response.
Yep.
Fear of approval, fear of disapproval. So, moving past fear, there is no fear in love. Perfect love casts out fear. And so really practice. I had a fear when I used to work with realtors. And so they used to destroy me and, give me this information now. And it would shut me down. I would feel backed into a wall, to a corner, and I would just freeze. And so one of the ways to get over that was, what made me back into a corner? What was the question that made me freeze? Yeah. What was the situation that I didn't feel comfortable in responding? And then I wrote those things down and wrote down my answers and rehearsed. And then I got comfortable and got better. So, rehearse or, rehear, see, play the conversation back. Okay, where did it go wrong? At what point did they get angry? Did I say something? What did I not say? Okay, how could I have gotten that better? Could I have said it better? Could I have done it a different way? Again, really working through, I really want to say what I mean, and not have the apprehension of how it's going to be received. Yes, have caution and have thought and consideration, but at the same time, not be afraid.
Right, be respectful still. I know sometimes in the beginning of our relationship, I would have the fear of disappointing you. So I wouldn't want to say something that was disappointing or that I might think you would be hurt by.
Okay.
And so I didn't want to say something and then hurt your feelings, or you be disappointed, and maybe my communication would, put a further gap in between us.
That's very good.
And so when those fears are there, it is very important to start building those trusts.
I was going to say, it's a lack of trust.
Yeah. And start building trust with your partner and just hearing their heart. It was really helpful when you're just telling me, what you really feel, saying we're on the same team, you're here to support me. And that's really what helped me through that, and be able to speak to you about anything, and to even tell your partner, you can tell me anything. I'm not going to flip out, or I'm not going to take it, and bury it inside me. Like, I'm here for you. Let's work on this communication together. So that's
build trust.
So that's a big part of it. For me, it was hearing those words.
So how does a guy build trust as a female, how does a guy build trust? And then I would say, how does a woman build trust with her husband?
So for me, a main part was talking about, okay, we're struggling in this communication piece.
Okay.
So, you were on board to work through it, which is very helpful. So we were both on board. So when both people are on board, again, listening to what you're actually feeling. So I'm not going to be assuming anything. I'm letting you tell me, I love you. I'm here for you. I support you. And then you being willing to, okay, just tell me what you need to tell me. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to, speak over you, interrupt, all those things that were causing, a lack of trust. And then to actually go through and have a conversation with you being truthful to what you had promised me or what you were saying. And so when we were able to have a conversation where you put all those things in place, I'm like, okay, this actually can happen. So that's a very big trust building experience to have a successful conversation when we couldn't before.
So in other words, if you want to build trust, then you want to honor what you say.
Yes.
So if you put the fleece out there, fill it. Or if you put the cup out there, fill it. So in other words, if you want to have better communication, then allow that person the opportunity to express themselves, however jacked up it is, however imperfect it may seem to you,
right?
However awkward it might be, give them that grace, because we're starting from ground zero. We're not down there yet. We're at letter A. We're the first step, so it's gonna be a little bumpy. Okay, so allow them the grace to say what they need to say, and then just hold it. Just keep the yapper shut.
Right.
And let them get it out.
Right.
And we gotta build trust. We have to build the respect. We have to build and demonstrate the honor so that we can grow and go to letter B, go to step 2, go to step 3, and have a deeper connection, have a deeper level of intimacy. Let's do 3 and wrap it up.
All right. Number 3 is that they don't really know themselves what they even want to communicate. So they're not even at the point where they know what words or what they need to say. So they just don't know. And some reasons that people may be in this point is, their past experiences or things that they've gone through that have been negative influences on, their way of thinking about communication, or dealing with passive aggressive behavior. So you're in the moment and you might be dealing with somebody that's super sarcastic. And so now you're drawn into responding to that, and it kind of shuts you down, and you haven't been able to process through what you actually feel or actually want to communicate to your partner.
I would almost say we don't know what to say because we haven't thought about it. Yeah. And we are so very quick to just respond.
Yeah.
We respond out of how we feel.
Yeah.
We respond with the first thing that comes to our head.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
And we've got to dial that back and put a pause on it.
Yeah.
And say, I'm not just going to respond to the first thing that comes out of my mind, or, again, that's how I am. You take it or leave it. Like it, I am who I am. This is me, baby. This is my truth, and that is what it is. And wait, bring it down, right? Because the goal isn't to be all about you. The goal is to get communication. The goal is to be together. The goal is that we win, not I win.
Amen.
So it's not about me. It's about us.
Amen.
So think through before you just respond. The old thing Grandma said, think before you speak. 1 Corinthians 13:11, Paul says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke like a child. But when I became a man, or another, when I matured, I put away those childish things. So we've got to, it takes a level of maturity.
Yeah.
And this is all time. I'm not calling you mature. I'm not saying you're not there. What we're saying is, again, we want to go from the basic. We got to get past the misunderstandings and the hurdles, and we're always coming back full circle. It's the same thing over and over again. We can't seem to pass the hump. We got to get past one. We got to build our trust. We got to start thinking through what we say, and okay, how is this going to be received? And then if we do come short of the mark, if I do, miss it and speak out of turn or say something sarcastic, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Shouldn't have said that. By the way, I really didn't mean this. When you came home from the thing, I'm hot. I'm upset. I'm upset because I'm thinking, this is a 22-inch tire. This is going to be a lot of money, and we don't really need to have budget right now. This is supposed to be no spend September. Then I'm thinking, what did she hit? How do you not see a bolt this size in the street, right? And so I'm not cool, calm, and collected. I wasn't flipping out. What are you doing, right? But also wasn't like, oh, it's okay. It's going to be all right. Then on top of that, if you've ever had to deal with customer service in 2024, you know the struggle and the pain. It is not fun. It's still not resolved. We have a roadside assistance package. I've got a service plan package on the car. I don't even want to talk about it.
Because they need to learn how to communicate.
They need to.
They need to tune into
hot mess.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Yes.
Going back and forth. They don't have it. We can't find it. I can't understand English. Dealership. Call this person. Put them on 3. Hot mess.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that had me ticked off.
Okay.
And so I don't know what I said. I probably said, I said I was angry. Then I did say, do you like making me upset? What did I say?
Yeah, you always resort to like, I purposely did it or something. I'm like, I would never purposely be like, oh, let me swerve and hit this giant thing that's going to rupture my tire.
Well,
like blaming. That's your default, blaming. Blaming and defensiveness.
Okay. But I did come today and say, you know what? I sent you a text. As part of our challenge is to send a sweet text. We're on a 30-day challenge, which you can take at any time using the information below. And it's just a way to do sweet things for your partner for 30 days. Just take 30 days, and that helps you build honor, helps you build trust, helps you
build those connections.
Build the connection points. And so I just sent a text and said, hey,
you're a good driver. Like, I've never gotten a ticket. I've never gotten in an accident.
Right. True.
I am a good driver.
So I can't really I'm a hypocrite because I can't really point fingers because I'm the one with tickets and accidents and,
getting the car insurance expensive.
So
but yes.
I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
So when you miss the mark, keep that trust built, keep that bridge open and say, hey, I'm sorry. Or, hey, that's not what I meant. I was angry. I should not have said that. And I'm sorry if I've done anything that may have bruised you and made a mark. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Let me peel that back.
Right.
That's not my normal character.
Right. And that always helps as well.
All right. So if you got anything from today's episode, we hope you did. We definitely can go deeper in this. Let us know. Put comments below or DM at Oakhaven Company on all social media platforms. Hi at oakhavencompany.com. Send an email and let us know what are your triggers and how you deal with this. Yeah. And we will love to communicate you on the podcast. Maybe you even be on the podcast. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we could have a guest.
Guest or Q&A. We mentioned 30-day challenge. You want to tell me what that is about?
Yeah, so our 30-day relationship challenge, you can start this at any time. It's going to give you 30 actionable steps that you can take for 30 days straight is the challenge. It's just a 5 to 10 minute action that you do each day to really build those connections with your partner. Put that relationship in a high priority status for the month. And it's a quick PDF download that you can get today and start doing today and affect your relationship for the good.
That's right. Affect your relationship for the good. I love it.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
So where do they go to get it?
Yes. Go download it. It is oakhavencompany.com /
30-day challenge.
30 days. Challenge?
Yeah. oakhavencompany.com / 30-day challenge. I believe that's right.
Okay.
And that will take you there. Of course, the links are all below. Simple PDF, 15, maybe 60 seconds, depending on your LTE connection or your Wi-Fi connection.
Okay.
And get it and let that help you and just be a great incentive for you. And again, let us know how things are going. Take a social media, add us.
Yeah, let us know. Agree, disagree. We love to hear from you. Love to respond back to your comments. So definitely feel free to reach out. That's
right. Remember, we're so glad you're here. Like it, subscribe it, smash it, and stash it.
Rate us, review us, like it.
Rate and review. Arnar. We appreciate you guys so much. It's getting late and I'm getting delirious.
I see. Time to sign off.
So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And remember that wisdom builds the house. We'll see you next week.